Is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and before we get into this video, I just wanted to ask you to please subscribe if you have not already. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every day at 9:30 p.m. EST, so if you like what you see and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I am also a pretty small channel, so I do pay a lot of attention to the comments and the likes, so if you want to give me some additional feedback there, I will know what you guys like to see. Enjoy the video. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I was trying to think of how I could tie in some Storybook Brawl content to Thanksgiving, and I was thinking about what are people maybe thankful for. And I always really enjoyed the big sleigh comps that you could pull off that were really powerful in the previous patch of Storybook Brawl, but I'm sure a lot of people are really thankful that they are gone right before the Slay stuff was patched out. I actually played one last game of Slay and I wanted to showcase that here. So this is basically from right before Slay was removed from the game and the patch notes were out, so we knew it was leaving, but I wanted to get one last Slay game in, and there have been some other changes as well to some things that have been removed that people are probably thankful for that are no longer possible in this game, but namely that's going to be Grim Soul and Harvest Moon. Those are both two things that are taken out of the game, and while this isn't a particularly powerful game, I still think it speaks to why these things were eventually removed, because they maybe weren't the most fun to play against. So I'm able to crack both of my opponent's eggs there, and that is always cause for celebration. We are playing a little bit of a mass game here, so we are going to It Was All a Dream, and Sir Galahad is pretty powerful, and maybe if I am able to pick up a Sherwood Shore Shot, then it will give us some excess stats before we transition into whatever our second hero is going to be. So let's go ahead and take Sir Galahad here. I could take the doubly. Interesting that I go for the lucky actually instead. I would have thought that the doubly could have been something that I wanted to concern myself with, but I don't want to get too gimmicky and I don't want to go all in on this hero power that I might just be rolling off of next turn. I'm not totally sure what I'm thinking of, and this game is about 2 weeks old at this point, so I don't really remember everything that happened in it, but this combat is looking like a good one. We should be able to pick it up here with the Sherwood Sure Shots and have something survive. So I think that was really just the reason that I took a 3-2 rather than take a 1-1 there, you know? Okay. We'll have to move some things around to make this support work, but that seems fine. Again, yeah, just debating if I like already want to dream or if I want to hold off for a second before I cast that. Brave Princess could also be pretty good. I think it's still early enough that it could work, and it would give me a treasure to Galahad, but nope, I'm done with Galahad. So I am going to go into Loki, and this is one of the other things that I think people are thankful for. Just the fact that maybe, I don't know if people are thankful for this one. I'm really not sure if people are thankful for either of these changes. I mean, I'm obviously thankful that the devs are always just coming up with ways to keep the game fresh. But one of the big things is in the previous patch, a nerf to Loki really hurt his ability to just get free XP, and we're going to see in this game that Loki is going to get some XP as well as just casting other spells and things just to get additional value throughout the game. But really the XP that you don't have to pay anything for is really what makes Loki so powerful. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much people are thankful for that, or not. And we're just gonna go ahead and pick up some units here. We don't really have a direction. I mean, I told you guys this was a slay game, but obviously we are not really slaying just yet. Looks like we are still just picking up some doubles and trying to best prepare ourselves to get some treasures, and then once we see what those treasures are, then maybe we will pick a direction. Now, Loki does kind of have some limiting factors in that Loki really doesn't want to play any spell-based comps, and by that I mean like hat ball, basically. Wizard's Familiar is still fine. It's going to gain +1/+1 each turn, but it's not really ever going to pop off. So you do need to find a different kind of strategy, and in the previous patch, that strategy was typically slay. So that's probably going to give you the best chances to win. We haven't really seen anything slay related, but you just basically used to force it every game last patch almost regardless, so that'll be the plan here today as well. And cute kind of setup for my opponent here. Storybook Brawl. Oh, no. Super Smash Brothers Melee Grim. Okay. SSB, not SBB. But SSBM Grim. I thought it was Storybook Brawl at first, but yeah, definitely not. And it looks like this Brave Princess will get a slay. We are level 4 now, so we're potentially just looking for Grim Souls and Chupacabras, but you basically always take Grim Soul when you'd see it because it would let you flip your Polywoggles pretty easily. We are in an awkward spot here as we'll have to sell off a pair, or we'll have to sell off Good Witch, which could impact the ability of our Brave Knight to slay, just to pick up one of these pairs. And these pairs aren't super powerful, so I really should not have sold my support there. That was a huge mistake. And that is a pretty easy hit there. Luckily going to put the... Oh, that is why I sold the Good Witch, because I have the Grim Soul. So I can just put the Grim Soul in the front and the Brave Princess in the back, and that will actually take care of the Brave Princess's slay. So the Brave Princess doesn't need to connect anymore, and honestly, this really isn't a slay game. We just have the cloak because both of those other two treasures didn't work on Loki. But like I said, with this patch, you do wind up playing slay more often than not. Now, that could have gone pretty bad for us if the baby dragon had sniped the bad princess, but luckily we are going to get our slay off, and we actually get an additional slay there, not that that amounts to anything, and we are going to get our second treasure. Again, not going to take Merlin's hat. I know that you'll want to give it to us, but we will take the Bad Moon there. Now we have 2 treasures with the word slay on them. Maybe we can do something with that, and then we see another crystal ball. So this game really, really wants to give us hat ball. I don't really love any of these treasures. Just the ring, Ring of Revenge. It's just like nothing special, but it will allow us to play an 11/11 crafty, so I think that's probably partially the reason that I went with it here. And then we do find a Chupacabra, and we find another Grim Soul. So I think I am looking for ways to put in this second Grim Soul here, and then I am also just trying to make sure that I keep some nice things behind the Grim Soul that I can power up. And because I want both of the Grim Souls to die before the Chup attacks, I don't really need to play both of these Sherwood Shore shots here, but that's fine. And then I actually just noticed that I did cast a Falling Star, or Wish Upon a Star this round, so Loki is going to give us some free XP, and if I win this fight, I get a second XP. I don't think I noticed that in the game either. There was just too much other stuff going on, and maybe had I noticed that, I would have tried a little bit harder just to win the combat rather than focus on just slaying as many times as possible. Now, one of the reasons that I do also go for both of these sure shots in the back line here is because that is going to mean that they're getting all of these ring triggers. And unfortunately, we don't hit the range unit there, but if we had gone 50-50 and killed their range unit first, we would have gotten a free XP. So, and we would have damaged our opponent a little bit, but really, and not given them gold. But really, it's a shame to have missed out on the free XP there. So that kind of sucks. And we'll be picking up a Polywoggle here. Like I said, this is one of the reasons that the Grimsoul was so strong and was always just a must pick up, is because you find the Polywoggle on 5, you find the Grimsoul, and now I've got a tier 6 unit. So I don't know what that's going to be. That's going to give me some direction to play around. But now I've got a tier 6 unit, and I might not actually get it this turn because I am going to upgrade these Grimsouls, and that means that I only really have one Grimsoul trigger that's either going to land on the Chupacabra or it is going to land on the Polywoggle. So I don't really know that the Polywoggle is going to get its Slay off, but I am going to have a pretty powerful board this turn, and then I'm going to lock because we have found ourselves a Shadow Assassin, and even this late in the game with the Grimsoul, that is just going to be really good. So it is the Chupacabra that gets its Slay off and then gets its Slay off again, but this Polywoggle would actually trigger here if it was able to get into combat, but we kill the ghost too quickly here, so that Polywoggle is going to live another day. I'll pick up a Siren if it only costs 1, sure, why not, and then also play a Shadow Assassin here. That is just a lot of good value, and then I'm also just gaining value with the Pig and with the Lucky, so a lot of sweet stuff going on here. Find another Grimsoul, so now we can probably get this Polywoggle to trigger, so that is pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and put all of the Grimsouls in and just see what we can do, and then we find the Shoulder Fairy. Gonna have to sell something, but that Shoulder Fairy isn't going to be powerful just yet, but it will be powerful soon enough. We know where this comp is going, and Shoulder Fairy is usually a pretty big part of this comp. And you'll see these units are gonna start to get pretty big pretty quickly here. I guess yeah, this is fine, because we don't care necessarily that the Grimsouls die while the Chup is still around, because worst case scenario, we are just going to guarantee that we are getting a Polywoggle, which will just give us a level 6 character. So that should be pretty sweet. And then also just putting a ranged unit in the first position is always pretty good. That spell looks like it might be really good for us, yeah, because it's going to allow us to kill the Spellweaver, and then we get Hercules for free on the back there. The Chupacabra is going to survive long enough to allow our Grimsoul to die as well, and this combat just goes super well for us. We are going to be taking out the Peter Pants, and I have to emote there because I just got way too lucky and then got a prized pig at the end of that to get even more gold. So all just pretty crazy fantastic stuff there. Do want to find a way to try to play this Hercules, because that could get me a 6 cost treasure, which would be pretty fantastic as well. So gonna put that Hercules behind the Chupacabra, and then we see a Lancelot, which is always a really big part of the Slay comps, because Lance is typically, like right now, the Shoulder Fairies is good because I found that Hercules, so that is partially why I was trying to grow the Hercules initially by putting it in the front. There's a lot of reordering and restructuring and things going on here, but I am eventually going to land on this positioning, and this might even change yet again. I probably don't. Oh yeah, I will put in the Herc in the front line and then just bench the Shoulder Fairies. So I'm just focused on scaling as much as possible right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. But basically, with shoulder fairies, you're generally using Lancelot as your good unit in this sleigh comp, because Lancelot just gets to grow so quickly. If that lands on Lancelot, look, he's already huge, it's already upgraded, and everything is just going to get to grow tremendously. We probably win this battle. Yeah, we should. But it is going to look a little bit close for a second there. But Lancelot is just going to very quickly become our biggest unit. That turn got a little bit complicated because I did also have the Hercules as an option there too. But this is basically the comp at this point. You try to grow one of either your Lancelot or your Chupacabra and Baba Yagas as your evil unit, and this grows your shoulder fairies, and this grows your Echo Wood, just kind of sending these things down the line here. I think we've probably outlived the Siren, and I probably could just sell the Siren to get a Grimsoul, but it's tough because we don't really have a place for this Grimsoul to go, because we are playing the Hercules, and we are playing two different Baba Yaga supports in the back. We don't have an upgraded Baba Yaga, so we are a little bit tight on spots right now, but that is something that I definitely know that I want a Shadow Assassin to get that upgrade, and that is worth throwing away some Grimsouls for sure as well, just to get that Shadow Assassin as soon as possible. And I'll do some small restructuring of units at the very last second that they don't all even get to go through. But we're still growing our team pretty incredibly, pretty tremendously, and that's all that really counts here. So we should have, oh, that's right, yeah, we attacked twice, which is great because we are still slaying and doing some sweet stuff. My opponent going to get to do some nice things with their Hercules here. Only get 2 hits on it. They didn't hit the Baba Yaga. I guess they only get 2 hits regardless because my units are all ranged. So wouldn't have really mattered there regardless. There we go. I fix my positioning there at the end just ever so slightly. But this Hercules is going to need 2 hits on it, and then we can do away with it. And then we will, once we've gotten rid of the Hercules, that's a sweet pickup right now too. Probably just skipping this treasure. They really want to give me Merlin's hat. Yeah, I don't need any of this. Once we upgrade the Hercules, it's still going to be smaller than the Lancelot, so we will just get rid of that. And I do think, I mean, I would like to upgrade the Chupacabra. I really would. But it is just not even going to grow as fast as our Shadow Assassin is. So really the priority now is to grow this Lancelot, grow the Shadow Assassin, and win our combats. I could play the Chupacabra, and I do actually wind up playing the Chupacabra there. I think, again, like some last minute decisions, I do want to grow the Baba Yagas as well, because these Baba Yagas are going to stay in. It's just a little bit awkward because I do want the Lancelot to get the Grimsoul triggers, but I do think that our strongest boards for the time being are going to include the Chupacabra, because we do have to play this Hercules as well. And it would have been nice if some more things could have hit this Hercules, but all of my units in the front row are double attacking, so the Hercules is still going to have 7 more damage that it needs to deal before we can move on. We pick up another Shoulder Fairies, and then from here, we'll really just be looking for another Baba Yaga, like I've said, and then more Shoulder Fairies, more Echo Woods after we get this Hercules treasure from us here. And I am eventually going to play the Shoulder Fairies and the Echo Wood. I think maybe I'm just thinking, you know what, the game is so close to being over that I just want to play the final comp. But I would like to see the Hercules in here. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and play. I am just going to play this comp. And this is what I said I should have played last turn. just try to get as many pumps as possible. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is I think actually what I should be playing. And the reason that this is what I should be playing, oh yeah, that's even a little bit better. You're right. The reason that I should be playing this is because I do want to make use of the Harvest Moon just because of how powerful that is and get in some nice double attacks with the Harvest Moon. So Lancelot gets in and then gets to get in again, and that's just a bunch of free slays. And I won't actually get to make use of the Grim Soul with this positioning potentially, but we don't need it. And there's not, it's tough. Grimsoul's a little bit tricky for us here, but we can take an Evil Eye and double our support bonuses, which means double our Baba Yagas, which means we're getting more use out of our Bad Moons as well. So this is really fantastic and giving us a really, really powerful board. And then I just sell Hercules. I'm like, okay, I'm done with you. You're out. I just don't even want you like on my bench anymore because you're just taking up space if I want to buy anything going forward. I don't wind up seeing anything, though, going forward. I really want a Baba Yaga here. That is like one of the best pickups, followed by Shoulder Fairy. But I wind up rolling all the way down, it looks like, just spent. And then I finally find the Baba Yaga. So glad that I sold that. Glad that I sold the what's it called? The Hercules there, because otherwise I wouldn't have found the Baba Yaga. And it looks like I'm going to abandon scaling for the turn. I'm playing against, other than me, the top player in the lobby, so I just want to make sure I'm bringing the strongest board to the table. And for now, that looks like just a Lancelot upgrading a whole bunch. My opponent also has a Grim Soul. They're going to polywoggle into a Lordy. That is not looking super powerful for them, but they did also just upgrade an Ashwood, so that is going to be pretty powerful, but not more powerful than this Slay comp, which is just bonkers, and yeah, just continues to be a great comp. So here, Ambrosia looks pretty good, because it's going to allow me to upgrade an Echo Wood or upgrade the Shoulder Fairies. When you've got 2 Shoulder Fairies here, then I think you just upgrade the Echo Wood. And I have to take something out here, so I can take out the Bad Moon, I can take out the Harvest Moon, and this is kind of a tough choice. I think the Bad Moon isn't really going to amount to that much scaling at this point in the game. It would still bring us some, but it wouldn't be that much as we fall off. But I do want to play the Chupacabra here as well instead of the Shoulder Fairies, because I just want to get a little bit more scaling. And then I see, because I'm up against the Ghost right now, and then I see a Baba Yaga, and I'm thinking, well, I could get a little bit more scaling in even so. So I buy this Baba Yaga, and we're going to switch our 2 Slay units here just so that Lancelot can get a whole bunch more scaling. And if I could have, I would have loved to have gotten this Ambrosia next turn, so that way I could still have the Bad Moon for another turn here as I just scale up a little bit more before the finals. But you can see, I mean, we're just throwing a bunch of extra stats onto the Baba Yaga. The Choop isn't dying. We're also throwing a whole bunch of stats onto the Shadow Assassin. And we are not even going to get past our second attacker. And my opponent already doesn't have a board here. And that's going to go on the Chupacabra as well, which means it goes on the Baba Yaga and also pumps up the Shadow Assassin. Just a ton of hits. And we made our board considerably bigger before the last fight. We grew our Lancelot up to almost 200. So definitely a lot of stats were on the table for that one. And now we're on the finals. We also find the Shoulder Fairies, which is pretty huge. Horn of Olympus is cool, and I have used it in some Slay comps before, but it's just not going to be good with the current setup because we really are not playing that many units that will really even care about the Baba Yaga. It's not like we've got a Riverwash Mermaid comp or anything like that at this point in the game. So we are just playing some strong units here, and I think I'm gonna, oh, that's right. Okay, so I can take out the Grim Soul now because we don't really need the Grim Soul for scaling at this point in the game. This is basically our last combat. Oh no, I roll past the Oni King, and then I see a Shoulder Fairies, and I would love to sell Grim Soul, Baba Yaga, and Doubly to pick up this Shoulder Fairies real quick, but there just isn't enough time, and I don't want to chance it and wind up playing down a unit against a trees opponent in the last fight. Luckily, it doesn't look like they're going to be doing anything too powerful in this game. They are going to take out our Slay units, but they should have a tougher time getting past the Shoulder Fairy and a much tougher time getting past this Echo Wood. So that is going to be enough to take my opponent out there. And there we go. That is the last game for this Slay comp. It won't actually be the last Slay game that I showcase on this channel. I still have some really sweet ones that I've been holding on to and haven't done commentary or anything on yet that I think are going to be really sweet. So stay tuned for those in the future. If you do want to see some more Storybook Brawl content, make sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. And what else? I guess tomorrow I will try to put out some kind of Black Friday themed video, and then I think the following day on Saturday I'm going to finally release, I've been teasing it for a little bit, but I'm going to release the video in which I get Mythic for this season in November here. So that is going to be it for me today. If you want to see some more Storybook Brawl content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, but that's going to be it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.